So, welcome back, everybody. Action is coming thick and fast, and we're now moving into the third place playoff in the Open Division between X3 of Belarus and Flying Worms of Latvia.
So just a quick reminder for you guys watching. The rules are a little bit different than in the pool games, so these are the rules for the third place games and the finals. So games are played to 13 points. There's a time cap of 35 minutes, and there's also halftime whenever one of the team reaches 6 points. So this is how it's going to happen here on the third place game for the Open Division.
And for those of you tuning in and haven't seen these teams before, X3 are playing in white and the Flying Worms are a team in black. There's the number 12, that's the guy I was talking about. His legs move very fast, makes him look like he is incredibly quick. So we're underway and the scuba goes up. Oh, and he keeps hold of it. A little bit of a fumble, but does enough to get themselves on the board. So X1 take the lead, 1-0.
So number 11, the one who just threw the score pass, is definitely a player you want to watch out for. He has been doing damage to other teams here before, and he's usually the one on the throwing end. So you could also see the nice scuba there to his teammate. There's going to be more of that coming, I'm sure.
Alrighty, well, we've got time. No, we don't have time to go through the list, I think. We're about to get back in. But we will do. For the last time, we will have a Latvian list of names to go through. And if there's anyone from Belarus out there, get in touch. We haven't heard from you guys much. Let us know what you're thinking. How have your teams been doing? Are you expecting more? Are you happy with how they've done so far this weekend? I'd suggest you should be happy now in the 3-4 game. And Flying Worms just working it down the line. A lot of noise going on. Not a Belarusian support out there on the sidelines. And 18.
Well done
once
there
again
for Christoph Svedskagens to catch this one. It was quite a difficult throw to catch. This hammer coming down very, very sharply. Does well there to make the layout bid, and hopefully he's not. He seems to be holding himself a little bit. Hopefully he's not too much injured.
No, he's a big threat for them in the end zone. So let's hope for them that he stays fit and healthy through this game. I'll read through the Flying Worms list. It's the last time I get to do this. Maybe until next year. So from Flying Worms, we have Niklav Sneps, number 13. Kristaps Vekagans, 18. Andrzej Krich, 17. Loris Lanmanis, 29. Marcit Skudra, 3. Edmund Semjonovs, number 2.
And a beautiful layout bid there for the Ventspils Flying Worms player. Nice defensive effort. That was number 16 from their team. Roberts Rosenfields.
Nice pressure there. Look for a little pass just into the end zone. Handler busting up the line, but unfortunately the pressure was there and he just fumbled it slightly. So X3 will have it back on their end zone. Nice scuba swing to the other side of the pitch. Just looking to center again. There's number 12. Excellent hands. The tactic seems to be having the swing come from the back of the stack, if you watch.
Nice little move there to the break side. 55 has the disc. Looking for players upfield, can find one. Just 7 down. Nice.
Keeps that alive.
Man. Break side right away.
Wow. And a great bid by 16, but unfortunately that dish just looped around him. Not much he could do about that, and that was very nicely worked in the end. A little bit of a risky throw.
That was very exciting. That was definitely a risky choice because the Flying Worms player was well in front on that break side, but X3 doing a good job scoring this one. I'm sure we will see more of this. Nice layout bids.
Good confidence in your own ability to still know you can throw around the defender.
So quickly read through the X3
we
roster
haven't finished the Flying Worms.
I'm sorry, I'm getting too much carried away.
I've only got a few. This is the X3 is a big team. So we have we had 2 Edmunds Semjonovs, 6 Eriks Podgudskis, 12, Gert Zakis, and 6, Robert Rosenfeld. Who, does anyone know, is he German? It sounds like a German name.
Maybe there's some German heritage there, but most likely he's definitely a Latvian player. So this disc went out of bounds, so Flying Worm starts from the brick mark. It's a 3-man horizontal stack. Vatskagens comes under, puts it, a nice throw there to number 2. His teammate Edmund Semyonovs. That was a really, really nice throw there. Very smartly seen, good vision, and I think they have practiced these kind of throws before. A blade throw for a guy cutting just straight on the other side. So the X3 roster, that was very eager to tell you before. Number 47, Igor Sobol. Number 7, Roma Fedenko. Number 99, Mikita Kalchutsky. Number 55, Denis Paperma. Number 11, Andrei Kuzmitsky. Number 16, Artyom Lukov. Number 12, Andrei Maliboshko. Number 18, Slava Starinsky. Number 13, Sasha Malashkevich. Number 3, Dima Konyuk. Number 53, Stas Kletsky. Number 1, Lesha Markevich. And number 25, Vova Leshkovsky.
So that looks like that, and it is excellently worked point. Nice handler busting up the line, made half the pitch. Threw straight onto the break side to number 12 for the score. So nice job by them.
So number 12, Andrei Maliboshko, that quick guy. From the place where we are looking at the game, he definitely seems a very quick person to follow. So
maybe he's quite short. Maybe it's just his legs move a lot quicker. But he certainly looked rapid from up here.
Very explosive player, nevertheless. So a lot of athleticism on the field. Hopefully we'll see that materialize in some nice layouts and good efforts from both sides of the disc. Nice pull, landing inside. Skudra there with the disc. Dumps it off to his teammate. Nice long cut there for number 17. Good pressure for X3, and that's a turn.
Quite a lot of pressure there from X3 that forced that throw. The dub was marked quite tightly. But it is, from what we've seen so far, quite a high-paced game, so which is good to see. A lot of bids. And X3 just looking for a massive cross-pitch swing, which works incredibly well. They're now looking for another one. So just working up the line here. And the defender just slightly off his man, that gives that. Ooh. So just keep recycling it. Looking for an option. There's a lot of space in front, but he gets a high release to the break side. Hannah thought about busting up the line, but turned back, gets a swing. Oh, is that saved? Looks like it was a goal. A very low pass, but made his teammate look awesome.
Well done there. It looks like X3 is really running around full speed and quite tough for Flying Worms to keep this pace. Even if they defend their first cut, then as soon as the X3 players chose another direction where to cut, then they're wide open. So also another thing I noticed is that X3 roster is really big. They have, if I'm not mistaken, 13 players here in this tournament. So maybe that's also helping them. This is the last game of the tournament, and all of those players have played a couple of fewer points than their Latvian opponents. So maybe there's just slightly more fresh, and that gives them some advantage here.
Up goes the heart to number 18. Is he going to get it? He does excellently yet again. And he's a bit of showboating. Why not?
Christoph Vatskagens is such a tall player, and he actually has also a really, really nice jump. So it's definitely a very, very hard player to defend against in the end zone. These kind of floaty throws. Haven't seen him dunking a basketball, but I'm sure he doesn't have any problems with that.
So while we're just waiting for the next point to start, we have 3 other games going on at the moment. For all those teams, it is their final game. In the 17th place in the Open Division, so winning the lower 8 bracket, is Flying Steps versus Tartu Turbulence. Flying Steps have started strongly, 6-3, but it looks like Tartu have just scored. I can see, is it Ilya?
This time it looked to be number 2, Andreksika, making a nice layout there on field 2.
So that looks to be 6-4.
Back to this game. X3 has started in offense. Nice use of break side, good inside-out throws. Very explosive cuts all the way. Dumps it back to number 7.
Ooh.
Undercut there. 99. Looks in the end zone. Finds number 12. A little bit of a bump there. Passes back to number 7. 55 on the open side. Back to number 7 right away. Looks at the break side. Can't throw that. Back to 55 on the open side.
Oh, nicely done.
Throw there, a lot of space. Number 12 dumps it back to number 7. Gets it to the break side there for 55. Wants to attack the break side. Good job there defensively.
Bit of a shame. They'd worked it up really nicely and looked really patient, swinging it around, just taking the right options, but just that final pass.
Everything up to this last pass was done very, very well for X3. Unfortunately, putting that disc to the open side, the cutter not really maybe ready for that, and then a turnover. So Flying Worms calls a timeout. It looks, these guys are gassed. They did a good job trying to follow the X3 players. They got their prize, a turnover, so now they're taking a timeout to regroup themselves a little bit and find a way how to score this point.
So I'll just let you know the other games going on at the moment. Playing for 7th place are the Salaspil Juniors and Oxy Disco from Russia. The Salaspil Juniors are currently 5-4 up, but it's a nice tight affair there. And for the person who was asking about Mario Mescus, they're also playing their final game. They're playing in the 11-12 game, and they're currently locked at 3-3. So got some nice tight games to look forward to. Oh, at least we hope so.
So Martin, based on what you've seen so far, and also a little bit about the history of these two teams, do you think does any team have an upper hand at the moment in this point?
I think, we've talked about the size of the X3 roster, and they are the team that's looking most energetic and most athletic at the moment. So I think, they're going to be the team, slight favourites perhaps. I think Flying Worms are slightly more experienced, taller. If they can get the connections going, especially to 18, they'll keep the scoreboard ticking over. But I want to see X3 do well. So I hope they do well. But Ultimate's the winner, right? So good luck to both teams.
There's definitely going to be some exciting plays here to come. Both teams very, very athletic, so keep your eyes glued to the screen. Let's see what Flying Worms does here in this offense. That was a hand block over there. Well done for the X3 player.
Nicely done.
That's number
not his
55.
first either.
That was 55, Denis Pamperne.
So a couple of questions, now that I've managed to refresh and get my internet back. What level of play is this tournament? What do you mean? Like, how high is the standard? It's certainly, I would say, the best players from the region are here. And that's a nice grab and a great score there. There are some very high quality teams here, teams that do and can compete against the best in Europe, teams like Salaspils, and they haven't even made the final here. So I think this is a high-level tournament, high-level indoor tournament, especially, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, Martin, I completely agree with you there. This region, I think, in general, is quite good indoor-wise. It has to do just a little bit that it's so cold here. So these teams play a lot of indoor. They practice a lot. there's a strong tournament, for example, in Sweden called Winter Trophy, and some of these top teams are usually strong contenders also for that tournament. Of course, we don't have all the strong teams here. We're missing maybe the top players from Finland, and also the top team Viksjöfors from Sweden, and maybe some of the top Russian teams like Sokol, for example. But nevertheless, if we look at the roster of one of the teams in the final grid, then you'll find players like Dahlberg there, who is one of the key players for the Swedish national team, and also for the Swedish team Viksjöfors, who has done well in the club level. So top level, I'd say, is good. Maybe the top level could be even. There could be even more teams here, and hopefully we see this tournament growing. And if you are part of one of these top teams and are looking at this tournament and you like what you see, then sign your team up. We want to see a lot of good ultimate. But also, if you are still quite new to the game, then I think this tournament is also catering for these kind of teams. There are some very young players here battling out for some of the last places in the tournament. So, generally a big tournament, some good level, some average level, some newcomers to the sport. So, definitely a good Frisbee festival in Tallinn.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you're right, there's 24 spots in the Open Division, so it does cater for right at the very top of European Ultimate, right down to the slightly more beginner teams. There are some university players here, and it's just really good experience for them to come and play against some of the top regional players and teams. So, yeah, whatever your level, come and get involved. Yeah. One other question was, what was the score in the Open semis? I'll give you the Open ones. Oh, yeah, that's what you said. Open semis. Okay. So Grid beat Flying Worms 11-6, and Tallinn Thunder beat X3 9-5. So pretty big gaps in those games, but they were both close. They both look close, at least on the field. So yeah. So after this, I think we move straight into the finals. I imagine we start with the women's final because Christian's still sat next to me, hasn't started warming up yet. So we'll have that, and then we'll bring you the Open final. I don't know if there's any other games going on when the finals are going on, but if there are, we'll of course let you know the scores. And once we know a bit more about final finishing positions, we'll run through those for you, so you can see how your team has done, or the team you're rooting for. So of course, keep your questions coming in. We like them, especially in these gaps. It gives us something to do. So even if you just want to say hello, we'll say hello back. Or we might do.
We're usually quite friendly.
Yeah.
If somebody says hi, we say hi, and sometimes we're even the first person saying hi.
Yes, so hello to all of you out there. I've started it off. Now I'd like to see some replies. Oh, and just on the other field, we see Ilya with the disc, our favourite hairstylist. But back to this game. Flying Worms catching the ball after a half to number 18. He does really well under pressure there.
Looks like there was a contact there and a pick call. One Flying Worms player colliding there with the next three player in the green hat, trying to be quite explaining themselves what happened. I think the Flying Worms, they seem to agree, both of them. And the game will continue. Number 29 will have the disc for Flying Worms. There are two people in a vertical stack, and the main man in the end zone, Vatskagens, coming under instead, getting the disc. 1 against 1 in the end zone. Nice defense there by X3, has to dump it off back to number 29. But no, dump wasn't free, just goes for Vatskagens in the end zone, and that's usually the right choice. Well done there for Flying Worms. I think, if I remember correctly, this was a break. It was a very long-lasting point because there was a timeout in the middle. So they did well. That was a well-needed point for them. to get closer.
Was that a... Oh, I thought that was half-time. That was quite a lengthy timeout. But no, you're right. It looks like 5-4. Is that right?
So 5-4, X3 leading. But Flying Worms does well to get this score. Ready to pull. Quite a sharp pull.
Stay in. Ooh.
A player there.
Heading one of the sexy legs. She looks all right. She's shaking it off.
Yeah, she's still jumping around.
Mean boy.
Right. Don't hit those girls.
They're very sexy. Come on.
So X3 with a 3-man vert stack. Cuts coming from the back. Nicely there for number 12. And right away cut up the line by 11. Nice movement. Quickly to 55. 2 people in the end zone. Instead choosing, there was a small contact there. Looks like to be a marking violation. Not contested. Comes back from 0. 55 dumps to 7. To the open side to number 11. Number 7 tries to go up the line. Instead comes backwards.
Nicely done. Oh. Probably a strip going on there. Just gives them all a chance to catch their breath.
Andrei Kuzmitsky still with the disc.
Yeah, dumps it further back, which is fine. Opens up the break side. The disc goes, looking to dumps there, ready. Can't see much going forward, but he finds a little gap, gets the break out. Who now just dumps it off. They've got a 2-man stack in the end zone. There's number 12, Speedy Gonzalez. But passes it to 99, who's now on the line. Looking for a higher backhandle, he gets it. Nicely, little flick to the break side. Dumps it back, ooh, the bid comes in, and number 7 from X3 just about keeps hold of it, put under a lot of pressure.
Great grab there by 99, reaching to that disc, and the break side throw to number 12. So that was Mikita Kalchetsky with the layout and then a throw right away to number 12, Andrei Maliboshko. I don't know what are those guys eating in X3, but they certainly look very quick and not tired at all. It doesn't seem like this is the last game of the tournament for them. Exciting matchup here. Flying Worms did a good job. They put X3 under a lot of pressure, but nevertheless, X3 always managed to find that open person. They did some quite sneaky throws there, inside-out break throws, and some nice layout there as well in the end, and a good break side throw for the score. Pull goes up, lands inside, and spills plays. And this disc actually touched the net over here, so I think this is coming back if...
Good spot, that.
The players have noticed this. So that when the disc was flying, it touched the net. And if the disc touches anything out of bounds, then the disc is out of bounds. Players are discussing whether the disc touched the net or not. It's right in front of us, so it's easy for us to see, but for the players might be a little harder because the disc didn't really change its trajectory. It went almost as without reaching the net.
Still seems to be some discussion, but you can always show them the video replays if they want. I haven't quite got to that stage in Ultimate yet.
Mats Kaggans there from Flying Worms discussing with 3 X3 players what happened. Let's see what they agree with. Seem to have to some kind of consensus. And I think the disc is just started from behind.
Is it going back?
So this looks to be a contested out of bounds call. So that's the only way how the disc can go back.
Nice hammer. Gets it to the other side of the field, but he swings. Defender just hung off there, gave the nice ease, and there goes the huck. Oh,
nice job there.
Did well there. Defender had the position, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get hold of it.
Seems to be number 12 for Flying Worms, Gert Zaitis. Reading this disc nicely and getting one more score. That's all for me for now. I'll do a little bit of warming up.
Good luck.
I'll trust you here to the good hands of Martin. And hopefully you guys have a good game. Enjoy it there from your couches from home. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so Christian is off to warm up. We wish him the very best of luck in his final, but we'll be able to see him shortly and see how he gets on. We may have someone coming in. We're looking around. It looks like there's people who might be quite keen. So we might be able to bring you someone else. Mix things up a little bit. But for now, let's get back to the action. So X3, number 11. Looking for the disc, looking for the dump. Nice little floaty backhand into the field. Just moving it back again. Leaving a lot of space downfield. Big poach off the handler. But number 18 wasn't from the defensive team, wasn't able to get it. Flying Worms really energetic at the moment. Putting their bodies on the line, going for the layouts. Oh! What a great layout by both players. That was a great score in the end. Did not know who was going to get that until they both emerged, but it was a great bid and great score. So this third place playoff is starting to heat up. Still only a couple of points in it. So still all to play for, and we still have about 7 minutes or so left. So, yeah, we've got Avo. If any of you were listening yesterday, is standing around. He might be putting on a headset shortly, so he may be joining us. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And the pull goes up. Good pull it is. Hangs out the field most of the time and just drops back in. So Flying Worms have it. Not much on, but he goes for a little knife over the head of the marker down the line. And they continue down the line, but he's just forced it a little bit too far down the line. Oh, but he's called a foul. So we'll stop and see what happens. Disc has gone back. Coming in, looks like he signalled it's coming in on 5, so contested perhaps. He's going to look for the dump, gets it off, back to the middle of the field, and he swings it across to the break side, and 18 puts the flick huck up, and nicely into the path of number 12. So that's 18, Chris Dapps, who we've mentioned a lot this weekend. He's quite a pivotal player to their team. To number 12, Gert Zakis. So, Flying Worms staying in touch. Deficit down to 1 point with about 5 minutes or so to go. So, still all to play for. Both teams clearly wanting to take home some, a trophy and some medals. So, Avo, are you joining us? Or you don't have to. But, oh, you've got the microphone. Oh, he might be on other duties. No, it's fine. He's... Okay. So Avo is going to try and join us later. Ooh, and what a great bid again. And Speedy Gonzalez, number 12. Gets hold of the disc and dumps it off and went straight for a give and go. But yeah, no, Avo's on microphone duty for the hall. So he might not be able to do both, but he will try and join us a little bit later on. So it's just been a call, but we're about to come back into play, and there we go. So we've got 2 in the end zone in a bit of a stack with 3 handlers. Ooh, looked like he didn't have much on there. He just turned around and floated the disc into the end zone. And thankfully for him, one of his players was there. Maybe I should give him more credit. Maybe he knew his player was there. But it looked like he must have been on a high stall count, 8 or 9 perhaps. And just put that disc out. Just what you should do if you're on a high stall count. So... So, sorry, just a little chat with Avo. He's going to join us for the next game, which will be the women's final. So, just to let you know and remind you, this women's final will be Sexy Legs versus Salaspils. Oh, and the greatest attempt. I think number 12 should have done a little bit better. 18 did the hard work. 12 could have got there. He didn't. So it's a turnover, and the disc is with X3. So yeah, back to the women. It will be Sexy Legs, a locally based team here in Tallinn, will be playing Salaspils women, who dominated their semi-final. So it should be a tough and exciting contest. We will be changing links for the women's final. Yeah, okay, so for everyone who's ready to watch the women's final, we'll let you know, but you will have to click the link as you have been doing, and we'll be moving to another link, and it'll be the same for the open final. So yeah, just remember to do that, otherwise we'll lose you. We don't want to do that. But meanwhile, let's get back to this. X3 have the disc, 5 meters or so from their end zone line. Just looking, must have been on a high stall count. That probably wasn't the wisest option. 18 saw it coming and was there for the D. So good play by Darks there, by the Flying Worms. And it looks like another timeout has been called. It's a good idea, just allowing the Flying Worms to regroup. Just getting a little frantic by both sides. So well, maybe it's not a timeout, maybe it's just a really slow start. So, Flying Worms are setting up in a horizontal with just 2 cutters downfield and 3 handlers. So he has 2 dumps. That does open up a lot of the downfield. So I assume they're going to be working together to make the most of that. Maybe one will cut deep and the other will cut under. And then you've got 2 dumps. So it looks like we had just start. It's going back. So we're back underway. So Flying Worms go for the hammer and another hammer to get it to the other side, and another hammer. And number 12 does excellently there to snatch that disc away from the defender, who looked like they had position. So they keep it alive, and up goes the knife, or the no throw, as one of our listeners has decided to call it. Good words. And they narrow the gap again. So we are at 8-7. So, okay, so the time is over. Point was scored before that, I believe. So we'll now play this and play the cap. So not long left to go of this game, and still very much hangs in the balance. So, and the pool goes up. Next 3 just taking their time to get into position. They've set up a vertical stack. 2 cutters, but both marked out, and the deep goes, and it's excellently weighted for him. The 2 undercuts were well marked, but the deep just headed for the end zone and didn't look back. Took that score, and they move ahead 9-7. So it must be a game to 10. So while we get back into this, there are 3 other games going on. Times are started slightly differently. These games are a little bit longer. The other games are not. So there are some games that started at 2 o'clock, so 15 minutes ago. Helsinki are 4-1 up against Nightwatch for 15th place. With 3-all between Spinning and Phoenix for 13th place. And for 9th place, we have Mima Monkey leading 4-1. But at the moment, the hammers goes up. Does he get it? Of course he does. So, number 18, Kristaps, brings the scoreline closer. So it's now 9-8. Still a game to 10. So you can hear from the sidelines, it's mainly the Belarusians who are getting quite excited and animated on the sideline. A lot of support and a lot of love for Belarus, or for the Belarusian team. So hopefully that'll give them some extra energy on the field to try and close out this game. So, and we're in. X3 just playing with it in their end zone. Nice floaty disc up the field, looking for the huck, but it's not on, so he looks it off. There's a poach, which is seen and is swung to number 55. Back again. It's quite deep, the stack in X3, almost into the end zone. Foul has been called, but yeah, they've got quite a deep stack. The second handler is making his way up the field, but now coming back. And it's dumped off to him on the sideline. Just having to do some work here to get this disc moving. They're now back into their end zone. Oh, nice display there. Bit of a bump. The Flying Worms guy tripped over. 99 wasn't from X3, wasn't sure if it was a foul, so he stopped play. But looks like they're both okay. So we'll get back underway. Quite isolated, but number 12. Oh, that's gone a bit too high for him. But is he going to back it up? Oh, that's nicely done. Keeps the disc alive. Got a very quick turn of pace. But there has been another call. We're back in, so the swing goes. So the force, a little bit maybe too aggressive there, and just pushes over 55 with the disc. So again, X3 just happy to keep it rotating, and that's a nice pass onto the break side. They're just looking, but there's a lot of poaching going on by the Flying Worms, and it's making it really difficult to know whether this should be thrown or not. But X3 is doing a really good job here, just to keep it moving. Number 7 being quite instrumental at the back. Oh, the bid comes in, but over the disc, and that's a great score. And that should be the game. So congratulations to X3, the team from Belarus, take the bronze medal, and we are now switching streams.